Có đọc đọc sách chứ. Con đọc sách nấu. Rất
Seen as fulfilling certain important social functions and dictating social interactions. However, social norms often constrain behavior and are often designed, supported, and upheld by those in more powerful positions. In that way, social norms enable the status quo and in doing so, marginalize those groups who may not benefit from the rules. Begin paragraph of www.stopla.org. The Advocates for Human Rights. 2006, February 1st. Begin link, Theories of Sexual Assault www.stopla.org. World Health Org. Social functions and dictating social interactions. However, social norms often constrain behavior and are often designed, supported, and upheld by those in more powerful positions. In that way, social norms enable the status quo and in doing so, marginalize those groups who may. Social norms are informal rules that direct behavior in groups and societies. Bicchieri, 2023. Social norms are most typically seen as fulfilling certain important social functions and dictating social interactions. However, social norms often constrain behavior and are often designed, supported, and upheld by those in more powerful positions. In that way, social norms enable the status quo and in doing so, marginalize those groups who may not benefit from the rules. Begin paragraph text. For more information, select the card to flip it. Begin heading level 3, social norms. Begin paragraph text. Social norms refer to values, beliefs, attitudes, and/or behaviors shared by a group of people. They are often based on what people believe to be normal, typical, or appropriate. National Center for Injury Prevention and Control, 2023. Begin paragraph text. The American Psychological Association, PAPAS, 2018. released guidelines showing that traditional masculinity is psychologically and physically harmful and that socializing males to suppress their emotions causes damage to both themselves and society. This research demonstrates that traditional masculinity, marked by stoicism, competitiveness, dominance, and aggression.
Gautama, the Buddha, he was just 21, 22 years of age. He cannot even have the time to get up and convince his wife in the middle of the night of preaching stuff. Once you realize the limitation in which you're existing, the very basis of your bondage is in likes and dislikes. Once you get into this trap of likes and dislikes, your intelligence is processed. Just become free from this process of liking and disliking. Like here and beyond is not a problem. You've got this stuck with my personality. It is so much fun for you to change that. Your personality, you must mold it every day because you can experience a whole new person all the time. 7 days they're in Samyama, you just simply forget who you are. The situation created is so intense. Don't ever believe that rich people have more ego. Don't believe that. Whether you handle it sensibly or senselessly, that's the question. What we need to bring in the world is not egolessness. What we need to bring in the world is just simple sense, life sense. There is something within you which doesn't want to settle for just joyful life either. There is something that this life is longing for. It's not a desire, it's its destination. Transformation means nothing of the old should remain. Awareness is not something that you do. The less you do, the more aware you become within yourself. If you stop doing all your nonsense, you're spiritual. The essence of life is in its process. Where you got in the end is not the point really. Just become blissful. The destination will happen by itself. There is always a manifold way in which people make use of the spiritual processes. For some people, in many places, spirituality and all the spiritual, what do you call them? Those talks called in Hindi? Pravachans. All that pravachan, everything is just to escape from the mother-in-law or cooking. For some, it's an intellectual entertainment. For some, they're seeking to learn something. They want to know something, you know. A few people are wanting to, bring about some changes in their life.
Starting route to Buffalo Central Terminal.
A little more peaceful.
Head east on Maple Bush Avenue. Then take the first left onto Weston
Some
Road.
change they want in their life.
At the stop sign,
Some
turn
people
left.
are looking for transformation. You know the difference between change and transformation. Transformation means nothing of the old should remain. Change means improvement, self-improvement, or transformation.
In 400 meters, keep right to merge onto Highway 401 West.
Really wanting to get lost into it, dissolve into it. So many ways, and people are approaching the same thing. Which is the best way? I wouldn't say which is the best way because according to each person's needs, that's how they seek. You can't prescribe the best way to anybody. Right now, generally the human nature is such that whatever they don't have, that's what they will seek. They don't have health, they're seeking health as if it's the ultimate thing. If they don't have money, they're seeking money as if it's the ultimate thing. They don't have love, they're seeking love as if it's the ultimate. Whatever they don't have, that's what they're seeking.
Use the right lane to keep right to merge onto Highway 401 West.
So medium-sized town.
Keep right.
In high school, the teacher came and asked the students, 8th or 9th standard children.
Use the right two lanes to keep right onto Albion Road toward Wilson Avenue.
Gives you.
Then take the first left onto Albion Road.
One boy said, those days, Maruti car. I want a Maruti car. Somebody said, I want a bicycle. Somebody said, I want 10 lakh rupees. Like this. Then the teacher said, you idiots, what will you do with all this? Ask for intelligence. Ask for knowledge, ask for intelligence. Why are you asking for all these things? So one boy student would say, everybody asks for what they don't have. But is seeking what they don't have. Now, if you go by this, when a human being goes by this process of asking, he doesn't have this process. Because what is it that you have? What you have is so little. If you go on asking for what you don't have, you need 1,000 years. Still, you will be nowhere. If you start seeking the next thing that you don't have, it's an endless process, self-defeating process. It seems to be taking you somewhere, but it doesn't take you anywhere. So, what is this about? If you don't seek, there is no seeking. Why would you go to any place if there's nothing to seek? Because that's the very basis of your activity, desiring and going after it. The objects of desire may change, and people may think one object is better than the other, but it's not so. Whether you're seeking money or intelligence or knowledge or God or this or that, desire is desire, The object of desire just changes the directions of your destination. It doesn't change the process of life as such. And the essence of life is its process. Where you got in the end is not the point really. In many ways, right now, the essence of life is how you're experiencing it right now. So, one's quality of life, if you're changing or wanting to experience life in a little better way, or in a much better way, whatever. Changing the objects of desire is not going to make much of a difference. It's the way we handle the process which is going to make the difference. But even if life becomes very pleasant and beautiful experience, it has to happen for every human being. But even if it happens, still you will see there is something within you which doesn't want to settle for just joyful life either. You're very happy, and even that doesn't seem to be enough. Because happiness is missing right now. The whole life seems to be pursuit of happiness. If you're joyful, then you will see it's not enough. In fact, if you're very happy, you'll do many more things than when you're unhappy. Because now you're charged and now there's nothing pulling you back. Have all the enthusiasm to go about and do lots of things. So there is something that this life is longing for. It's not a desire, it's its destination. It is not something, a desire that you created or I created. It is just longing to go towards a certain destination. The only choice that we have is either to move towards this destination consciously or unconsciously. Anyway, we move. Whether to go towards it consciously or unconsciously. If we are dragged towards something unconsciously, even if we are dragged towards heaven, we will suffer the dragging. Yes. Now we grab you and we'll drag you out. You don't know where you're being dragged. You will suffer this. We'll take you and put you on a beautiful beach. But that's later. But right now, all along from here to there, you are going to suffer it terribly, isn't it? So if you walk towards anything, or if life drags you towards a certain direction and you're unconscious about it, you will suffer the process immensely. So if you look at it consciously, if you go towards it consciously, then the process becomes beautiful. That's all the choice we have, really. And once we are conscious, we naturally taste the process. Whatever we are unconscious of, and that level we suffer, you must understand this. See, right now you're driving on the street. You are completely unconscious of who is coming behind you, who is coming in front of you. Now you are going to get into one kind of physical suffering because you are unaware of the physical reality. Physical suffering will come. Something is going to break, isn't it? Now you are unaware of what is happening in your body. Another kind of suffering will come. You're unaware of what's happening in your mind. Another kind of suffering will come. You're unaware of what's happening in your family. Another kind of suffering will come. Similarly, wherever you're unaware, that level of suffering will come to you. Is it so? You're getting, this is holiday, you're getting dead serious. Once a pirate walked into the bar. The bartender knew him from long ago. He's seen him just the previous year. He's come back after the expeditions. He looked at him and said, "Hey, what happened to you? You look terrible." What is it? I'm just fine. The bartender said, "What happened to your leg? Why the wooden leg?" Oh, that we were just having a battle with another rival group. And I saw a cannonball coming straight at me. Before I could move, it hit my right leg. And I'm doing quite fine with the wooden leg. I'm pretty good. Then the bartender said, "What about the hook? In your left hand, you have a hook. What happened to that?" "Oh, we were just having a sword fight for fun. And my left hand got chopped off. But I'm doing quite fine with this hook. In fact, it's more useful than I." Then he asked, "What about the eye patch? You lost one eye. What happened?" "Oh, that I was just looking up at the sky and a bird poop fell into my eyes." Oh, come on. Who ever heard of anybody losing their eyes for bird poop? How would you lose your eyes for bird poop? No, that was the first day I had my hook on. Whatever you understand, there you suffer. There that brings suffering to you. So we're talking about awareness. Awareness is not something that you do actually. In fact, the less you do, the more aware you become within yourself. The less your activity becomes inside, what you call as me. the less that becomes, the more your awareness becomes. The less your personality becomes, the more your presence becomes always. Personality means you have to do a lot to keep it up, isn't it? Most of the activity that you're doing to keep up your person is unconscious, but you're doing enormous activity to maintain a certain personality, isn't it? If that activity gets lowered, suddenly awareness gets heightened, because awareness is not something that you do. The very life is awareness. The very basis of life is awareness. You know that you're alive only because you're aware, isn't it? If all awareness disappears, at least on this level, we can call it death. So, spirituality is not something that you do. If you stop doing all your nonsense, you're spiritual. You know, unnecessary nonsense, if you stop, spirituality is, it's not something that you have to do and make it happen or create it. It's not so. But still, why? That is so. Why am I doing my pranayama in the morning? Oh, that's because there is no breaks in your activity. What you do within yourself, you have no breaks on it. So, we are creating a certain physical, mental, and energy situation where everything gets diverted from your activity. Slowly, the practice establishes a situation where the life energy is raised to a certain pitch and intensity that slowly the activity becomes insignificant. It's still there. It's still happening. You see this in Shunya meditation. Just activity is still happening, but it's insignificant. The same activity which was so significant has become insignificant. We have not stopped it. We have not done anything to hold it down, but somehow it has become not so important. You see this happening? And you just sit and meditate in Shunya. Everything is happening, but it's no more important. It's lost its significance. It's lost its impact upon you. It's lost its influence upon you. It doesn't mold you anymore. All the activity of the mind stops molding you. You're no more being molded by that activity. This whole distortion that we have done to life in the form of creating our person. See, when you create your personality, because it's created mostly unconsciously, just a small part of it may be conscious. The rest of it is all unconscious, isn't it? When you create your personality, somewhere, in one way, it means somewhere you thought Creator has not done a good enough